Hello, Modern World Conflicts class. This is Joel Jr., instructor, and I just wanted to provide a tutorial video here that's going to go through all of the changes that are going to be occurring to the class as we transition online in response to the health crisis that we are currently finding ourselves in. To begin with, I just want to say that I fully realize that this is a very unprecedented situation, that none of you asked for or signed up for an online class at the beginning of the semester, and that this transition is anything but ideal. And that being said, I want to let you know that I am committed to working with all of you to get through this at whatever pace we need to do to get through it, and to make any accommodations to make sure that you are still going to have a chance to be successful here in class. So as I'm going through here, if you hear anything or something seems like it's going to be an issue or a problem for you to continue to participate in the class or to succeed in the class, please reach out to me and let me know, as I am more than happy and willing to work with all of you to make sure you're going to be able to continue to be successful moving forward. And on top of all that, I know it's been even more chaotic for our particular class, having an instructor filling in for me for the first half, and then this transition essentially coming right in the middle. So there's going to be a lot of understanding on my part of it moving forward. And my big thing that I'm looking for at this point in time is that you're still able to participate in the class, and that you are making a good effort, but I want to let you know that my grading is going to very much be reflecting that this is not an ideal situation moving forward. So there's a few things to keep in mind as we get started. The first thing I want to do is real quickly go over our updated syllabus to highlight some of the changes here. So this is attached in the email that I sent out. It's also posted now online as well. It sort of moves through and goes through how our class is going to be modified. So the first thing that is going to now be a fully online format, which means we will no longer and we will not be meeting in class for the remainder of the semester. Because we are moving to an online format, I'm going to shift our due dates so that they are now going to be due by the end of the week. So essentially by Sundays at 11:59 p.m., which means that each week is going to essentially run from a Monday to a Sunday, and you will have the entire week then to do all of the work for that week. Our reading requirements are going to remain the same, which is to say that you're still going to be reading 2 chapters per week from the textbook. I have adjusted the schedule, which means that essentially we're just going to be covering less material this semester than we originally were going to, because we have missed out on those 2 weeks of extended spring breaks. So if you look towards the bottom of the document, you can see we have those 2 spring break weeks that were added on to our regular spring break here for us to prepare. And then starting up here, complete by April 5th, which is going to be a week from Sunday here, is when our first set of assignments are going to be due, and following on from there. So you can still go through and see what is upcoming and the reading requirements for each of those days. Or weeks, I should say, at this point. So the reading is going to be staying the same. The reflection questions are also very much going to be staying the same. You're going to be each week asked to complete your reflection questions just like you would have been completing them if we were in an in-face class to class. The only difference is you will now have to submit those on D2L or email them to me, as of course I will not be able to accept them in person any longer. The only big thing that I'm adding on as far as work that you're going to need to do is that every week we're going to be having an online discussion that's based around some primary sources for the week. And these primary sources are going to be, in a lot of ways, exhibiting or highlighting one of the aspects that we have talked about or that was heavily highlighted during the week of instruction. You can go ahead and read through this on your own time. I'm not going to read it word for word at this point in time, but the big thing to keep in mind is that each week there's going to be a primary source which I post online. When I do my online tutorial, you'll see exactly where that is, and that you are then going to be expected to read through that primary source or view it if it is a picture or painting of some sort, then respond to the questions that I have provided you in the discussion board, and then I'd like you to respond to at least one other student. And this online discussion is essentially going to be taking the place of those 25 points that were originally allocated for activity points each week. So the activity points are going to stay the same in a gradebook. Just know that those 25 points are now coming from the online discussion primary source discussion board that we are going to be having. I've also attached an email, a grading rubric, and that will be also posted with these assignments. You'll know exactly what I'm looking for. Once more, knowing that my grading is going to be very much looking for participation at this point in time. Still, trying to meet those word limits and so forth. But I'm not going to be picking through these responses with a fine-tooth comb. The main thing I want to see is that you've read the material and that you're trying to do something with it. You're doing your best to answer the questions and respond to other students in a meaningful way. I'm also going to be posting review videos the week after assignments are due, which is going to sort of close that feedback loop. I'm also going to be posting videos that are going to sort of be previewing the upcoming weeks, and you'll be able to find those in the upcoming weekly folders. And that will essentially sort of, before you start reading, give you an idea of some of the things that you can be looking for and focusing on in those readings. And also, I'm going to be providing more resources than we originally had online, and I'll be going into that in the D2L tutorial as well. I'm updating my office hours. As you can see, there's now more office hours listed than I had previously had, and also you can connect with me on Zoom. Which is my Zoom address is listed right here. If you'll click that in during any of these times, you'll be able to meet up and join in a face-to-face conversation with me that will hopefully make communication easier during this time period. Of course, I can always be reached by email or phone as well, as I think really communication is going to be the key to any challenges that you might be facing. And once more, just reiterating that this is a very chaotic time. I understand how disruptive it can be, that I'm taking all these circumstances into account, and that my ultimate goal continues to be helping all of you meet your educational goals despite all these challenges that we are finding ourselves in. And the more that you can communicate those challenges to me, whatever they might be, whether it's accessing the class, whether it's maybe you're providing childcare for children that are no longer able to go to school or to daycare, and that's sucking up a lot of your time. Anything, of course, if you get sick or you have a family member who's sick, anything like that, make sure to let me know. I am very much willing to extend due dates, extend when things are due, and even if necessary, provide incompletes and so forth. You could potentially work into the summer if that's going to be something that is going to be needed to get you to still complete the class. So, but I can't magically know that if you're not participating for one of these reasons. That's why you're going to really have to reach out and let me know. All right, so we'll go from there to our D2L page. So once more, if you're on Century's main page, you can just go to login. Or you can go to My Century or directly to D2L. Either way will work. And if you scroll down, you'll be able to find our class here. Once more, we'll also have the link to the content browser up here. If you can see here, upcoming events, we have the new due dates for our material that's going to be due on April 5th. And once more, the best place to go for all this is going to be under under materials and content right up at the top there. That brings you into our weekly folders. Under class information, you'll see that there's a copy of that updated syllabus has now been posted. And under resources, you'll now see that there is a copy of the primary source rubric as well as the midterm essay guidelines. Scrolling down, you can see we have our extended spring breaks listed here. So week 8 is the next one that we're going to be coming back to. And the first thing that you'll notice is that up here at the top, the changes in the syllabus are essentially the reading is staying the same, the reflection questions are staying the same. The only difference is you're going to be adding on that primary source discussion question and responding to one other student. I'm also going to be posting more resources for you to take into account besides just the textbook. I posted some PowerPoint presentations that I use for other history courses. These aren't specific to ours, so there might be some information that we wouldn't normally be covering. Also, there might be information that's not going to be covered in these that's still going to be important, but it still might give you a guide that you wouldn't necessarily be getting. They're broken down into sort of much more of a bullet pointed type format that might be easier for some people to see and give you some good context around the readings, as well as some various videos that might help once more provide some context for the chapters and the reading materials. Dropping down, you still have the same requirement of answering 3 of the 6 reflection questions each week. And dropping down further, you'll see then our new assignment is listed here. Our discussion question for the first week, which is going to be reading our document here. This one's going to be dealing with the rise of the Nazi Party in Germany. Reading that document and then answering the following questions in the discussion board. To do that, it's very simple. You just click on the link right here. That brings you to the discussion board. Then click Start a New Thread, and you can enter your answers right down below here. And you can just put in for a subject answer to discussion questions or something of that nature. Hitting post will then post it on the discussion board, and you can then go to that discussion board in order to answer other students' questions and do your responses to them. Another way to get into the discussion board is right under here under communication, discussions, and that will take you here to the discussion board. Sorry, my 2-year-old tried to wander in, so you might have heard him in the background there. We're working from home too through all this, so once more, completely understanding the difficult position this puts a lot of people in. So that's another way to get then into the discussion board. So that should be the majority of the changes and how to access all of them. You can see looking up next week, we're going to be moving on with the same pattern of having reflection questions, discussion questions, and also then I'll be posting an introduction video here along with some other additional resources heading into that chapter. So that is the plan at this point in time. Once more, any questions about this or concerns, please reach out and let me know. And I'm looking forward to working with everyone to move through as best we can this current situation and to still try to be as successful in our class as we can. Thank you all very much and have a nice weekend.